Dozens of Mennonites gathered in Newton to share their message that God's love has no borders. It's all part of the group's larger movement called Mennonite Action, as they call for more compassion for immigrants and the war in Gaza. The group stood outside the Harvey County Courthouse singing hymns and praying for more peace in the world. The Mennonites say they are advocating for a ceasefire in Gaza, as well as an end to deportations.
We recognize that our government is supporting actions right now that are harming people in these communities, that tax dollars go towards that, and we want to speak up for what we believe.
And Mennonites and other supporters have gathered in cities all across the United States and over in Canada as well in recent months, pushing for immigrants and Palestinian rights.